There are many people that watch F1 that aren't fans but spectators. Spectators will see the surface level, Max winning time and time again, and they'll get bored and move on to whatever the next course du jour is. Fans, however, will realize that the tapestry spanning the 7 decades of the sport's formal history is interwoven, with storylines continuing through from its origin to the modern day, and it encapsulates not only the person starting and finishing P1 at the moment, but the pit lane politics, the Piranha Club, and the feeder series where tens if not hundreds of drivers all battle for a chance to be in the holy grail of motorsport seats, or an alpine. Not only is it the junior series is providing massive potential for teams moving forward, as some drivers are either being forced out or are looking for their escape routes, making the 2-year silly season an absolute slobberknocker. Formula 1 has always been in flux when it comes to where the matters of most importance lie, from those already in the paddock to the goings-on deep behind the scenes, and there has been no time where that has been truer than right now. Feel free to look at the surface level and get the bare minimum out of the sport, but if you do so, you'll be ignorant to the fact that the most important things across the next 5 years of the sport are brewing behind the scenes and even right under our very noses, and keeping track of them is going to be fascinating. Want to know why the driver market is set to ignite? There's a key battlefield being undertaken at the moment, and it all hinges on the performance of a single teenager. And stick around, because the juniors kept on the fringes may be looking to make some ambitious moves. The first and most notable seat that's available is somewhat of a poisoned chalice, as Mercedes have already made it clear that the seat has a reserved sign on it with the name Andrea Kimi Antonelli written across it, with Toto Wolff recently saying that the team will be checking in year after year on Antonelli's progress in F2, having skipped F3 this year, to determine when the right time for him to enter F1 would be. The young Italian is under an immense level of scrutiny, with the Mercedes team boss all but hailing him as the next Max Verstappen, with his comparisons between the driver he let get away and the one yet to come being a key reason for people to not see the Mercedes seat as a long-term option. Toto Wolff said last week that he is in no rush to make a decision on the seat, with it being considered that the final decision will be made and announced either over or just following the summer break, which starts at the back end of July at Spa and culminates in late August at Zandvoort. This is likely to give Wolff and the higher-ups at Mercedes the most possible time to see how Antonelli performs in the junior series, as the would-be chosen one has been positioned in Prema next to the recent sensation Ollie Behrman, which will serve as one hell of a litmus test for the young Italian driver. If Antonelli does not prove to be sufficiently ready for the 2025 season, however, Mercedes will have to balance out their options, either risk sidelining the prodigy for a longer amount of time than originally expected, potentially even a few seasons into the new regulations, to both secure top talent who will be looking for security, as well as allow Antonelli to come into the sport fully prepared, having had a few seasons of F2, unless he does something insane like win it this year, and a few years of FP1 sessions to get up to speed. He is still incredibly young after all, so Mercedes will not want to rush his growth and potentially spoil the harvest. The time they've taken with Russell now positions him as the natural heir to the #1 seat, so taking similar care with the upcoming Antonelli will be crucial. For the meantime, however, there are 2 main players that could be positioning themselves for the Mercedes seat, and for varying reasons. One is the coy about his future Fernando Alonso, who could equally be using this dizzying silly season as an opportunity for some gamesmanship rather than looking to secure a move elsewhere. He is a seasoned veteran and an incredibly intelligent driver who has a limited number of years left in the sport. While he is not slowing down yet by any means, he has made it clear that if he is not winning, or at least challenging for wins, then F1 is of reduced interest to him. So the difference between either a few more years in Aston Martin or a few years at perhaps one of the only teams on the grid he has yet to burn bridges at in Mercedes will be a matter of who can provide the fastest car. The other potential contender is Carlos Sainz, however he comes with his own demands that may make it an intangible move. Carlos's suitability for the seat all hinges on whether Antonelli looks to be a prospect for now or for the future, as it has been made well known as to what Carlos demands from his next seat: long-term, high potential and secure. I don't know where I'm going next. I don't know what will be my best option. Obviously, I will maximize my last year at Ferrari. I really want to have a good last year with this team and give my absolute best for everyone in Maranello. I'm going to need to take my time to decide where I go. We will obviously speak with the options available and see what the best long-term project is for me and my career, and the best project that gives me the possibility to be a world champion, and in the end it's my dream and the thing I want to do as soon as possible. This clearly makes the Mercedes seat intangible for Sainz, as currently it fails to meet all three of his criteria. However, if they can give him a look under the hood at the future and he likes what he sees, as well as him having the ability and his confidence that he can strong-arm Antonelli out of the picture for a few years, then it may be that we see Sainz in all black very soon. Some drivers coming through don't exactly require a crystal ball to know exactly where they will end up, with even the most boneheaded of spectators now knowing the names of Liam Lawson and Oliver Bearman. Up until the past year, those names were saved for those who watch every free practice session or Formula 2. However, after impressive debut stints behind the wheel, both have firmly put themselves in the shop window, either to be snatched up by a team beyond their current contracts like Oscar Piastri last year, or to be clamped down by their current team by promises of a drive next season. In the case of Liam Lawson, the latter appears to be the case, with the Kiwi being all but promised a seat in 2025 by Helmut Marko, who told him to be patient because his time would soon come. Lawson, following his impressive AlphaTauri stint last year, was denied a 2024 drive in favour of retaining Tsunoda and Ricciardo, which from the outside seemed baffling at the time. However, Ricciardo had only just walked through the door, and Tsunoda is a relic of the Honda relationship, which still continues through to the regulation switch, wherein Red Bull will take the full reins of their engine program with Ford. Clearly, murmurings of offers and potential 2024 drives will have reached Liam Lawson. However, he stayed loyal to the Red Bull program. However, if he believes that he is being taken on a ride here and isn't actually getting that 2025 seat, the Red Bull Jr. will not hesitate to do what's necessary to secure a seat on the grid, which he so clearly deserves. When asked if he is willing to leave the Red Bull family in order to secure a seat, the Kiwi replied, "That's a Netflix question right there. I want to be. Obviously, my dream is to drive with Red Bull. I've been with them for over 5 years now. And believe it or not, when I was a kid, they were the team that I dreamed of driving for. When I was first going to Europe, I saw the junior drivers. At that point, I wasn't a junior, but I always thought it was so cool that there were these younger kids I was racing who were kitted out in Red Bull gear and had their own miniature Formula 1 cars with Red Bull all over them. My dream is to drive for Red Bull, but you know, at the end of the day, my dream is to drive in Formula 1, so it's a tricky one to answer. The aforementioned Ollie Bearman will likely be in different colours to his parent team Ferrari next season, but for completely different reasons. Ferrari decided not to back their academy or even their current driver Carlos Sainz, despite both showing massive potential for success, instead opting for Lewis Hamilton nearly a decade after the ship had sailed. While clearly we're being tongue-in-cheek with the Hamilton comment, the move has denied the potential for both Sainz and Bearman a shot at Ferrari glory for the time being, with both being forced to look elsewhere for drives for as long as Hamilton stays at the Scuderia, the current timeline for which is unknown. This faux pas by Ferrari is something that was recently highlighted by Helmut Marko, as the Red Bull team advisor, who knows a thing or two about a young talent, no, not like that, said, "I thought Ollie Bearman's debut in Ferrari was sensational. To drive like that at a circuit like Jeddah without much training is really strong. At times he was almost driving at the level of Charles Leclerc. They are buying the expensive Hamilton. Leclerc has a long-term contract and Bearman is a super talent. If I were Fred Vasseur, I would immediately look for an F1 cockpit for Bearman at another team. I don't know, at Haas for example. Now they have to spend more money to train him. Teams are relatively financially saturated at the moment. That will cost them dearly."